This video is sponsored by Card Trader, a global marketplace where you can buy and sell TCG cards like the Pokemon trading card game. And you can also check out PTCGLstore.com, a great place for you to buy Pokemon TCG code cards. The links will be in the description below. Hey guys, in today's video, I'll be showcasing Whimsicott EX from the White Flare expansion set. Whimsicott EX is a little underrated right now, but with the right deck composition, I think it's actually pretty cool. Its first attack, Energy Gift, you can use as an energy acceleration engine, where it allows you to search your deck for up to 3 basic energy cards and attach them to your Pokemon in any way you like. But we're not going to be using this as much since we're actually going to be using Whimsicott more offensively, and majority of our attackers in this build only requires 1 energy anyways. With that said, we'll be focusing more on its second attack, Wondrous Cotton. For 1 grass energy, your opponent reveals their hand, and this attack does 50 damage for each trainer card you find there. This attack can be quite powerful, but unfortunately your opponent can control what they leave in their hand during their turn, so in a sense, this build can be considered as RNG based. But this is why Whimsicott EX partners perfectly with the Chandelure with the Alluring Light ability. Once during your turn, you may have each player draw 1 card. So with this ability, depending on what your opponent draws into, it could potentially increase Whimsicott's attack damage output the more trainer cards your opponent has in their hand. And this actually has a really strong attack too. For just 1 fire energy, Mind Ruler deals 30 damage multiplied by the number of cards your opponent has in their hand. With enough cards on your opponent's hand, this attack has the potential to one-hit knock out any Pokemon in the game. And having this single price attacker does help greatly with a price trade as well. As for my spec card, I have Heroescape. I think this is the best one to use right now just so we can increase Whimsicott's survivability by adding 100 more HP onto it. And just for fun, I'm actually using Harlequin for my supporter in this build. Both players shuffles their hand back into their deck, you flip a coin, and if it's heads, you draw 5 cards while your opponent only draws 3. However, if you flip tails, your opponent draws 5 instead and you draw 3 cards. And that's actually the beauty of this card because you can never go wrong with your coin flips. Oftentimes, you even want to flip tails, that way your opponent draws more cards, thus increasing the potential for you to deal more damage with your Whimsicott EX or Chandelure. The strategy of this build is quite simple really, just have your opponent draw into a lot of cards and deal as much damage as you can. To be honest though, the win rate for this deck is really horrible, but it was worth a shot. But what do you guys think about this Whimsicott EX? Let me know in the comments below. Anyways, that's pretty much it. You can find the complete deck list in the description below. And now please enjoy the following gameplay videos showcasing Whimsicott EX. Before we get into the video, I have a small request. If you're liking the content I create, please leave a like to this video and please support this channel by subscribing if you haven't already. This is a small click for you, but for me, it means a lot. Thank you so much for all of your support. On to game number 1. I'm going to start this one with Munkidori in the active spot. And I will be going first in this matchup. I do prefer going first. We have a lot of stage 2 Pokemon to evolve into, and Whimsicott EX is actually not too hard to set up either. But for now, all I can do is just attach Luminous Energy to our Munkidori. We can prepare to retreat, or to even use its Adreno Brain ability. My opponent's going to start with Moltres in their active. They're going to set up Charmander and Pidgey. So we're going against Charizard EX. So this could be an easy matchup for us depending on our setup. But they are weak against grass, so we can definitely use Whimsicott to easily knock out some Charizard EX. So we drew into Buddy Buddy Poffin, so we can actually set up 4 Pokemon here. And then we can use Arven to get another one. So I'll just get these 2. So now we have Cleffa, 2 Litwicks, and at least 1 Cottonee. We have Air Balloons, so we can freely retreat our Munkidori to preserve its energy. I'll attach an energy to Cottonee as well as Heroescape, and we're just gonna Grasping Draw. So there it is, we got Whimsicott EX. We have an Arven to get Rare Candy to evolve into Chandelure, so we can start forcing everybody to draw a card every single turn. So my opponent now evolves into their Charizard EX. They had Rare Candy. That activates the Infernal Rain ability, allowing them to search their deck for up to 3 basic fire energies and attaching them to their Pokemon in any way they like. So now their Charizard EX is ready to go, but unbeknownst to our opponent, we can fully evolve into Whimsicott EX and deal some massive damage. But it does depend on what cards they have in their hand. But if they're all trainer cards multiplied by 5, we're going to be dealing some awesome damage. So we're just gonna put Cottonee in the active spot. We can evolve into Whimsicott EX. Thanks to our Heroescape, we can definitely tank some hits here. And with Arven, we're gonna evolve into one of our Chandelures. let's go ahead and use its ability, Alluring Light. Both player draws one card. We got Ultra Ball. I can actually get Serendipity EX with this. So I'll just discard those two. We can draw into more cards. Maybe we can draw into a rare candy. Okay, we did not, but we got Lampet. So we can evolve into stage 1. And look at that, guys. All of their cards in their hand were trainer cards. And we actually dealt 500 damage. That's crazy. It is RG based, and your opponent can control what they have in their hand, but if you can get it, that's crazy. We are weak against fire though, but this Moltres isn't much of a threat, thankfully. We have a lot of HP thanks to the Hero's Cape, and that's why I actually like the Hero's Cape A-Spec card in this build. Because I've been testing Whimsicott EX around. It's just easy to get knocked out. So Hero's Cape was a little bit of a better choice, I think, for this showcase. But let's see if my opponent can recover here. They use Super Rod. They have Rare Candy to evolve into Pidgeot EX. They can use the Quick Search ability, allowing them to search their deck for any one card and to put into their hand. But we have Harlequin. I could even use that. Maybe force our opponent to draw into 5 cards. They're going to counter capture our Serendipity EX, hoping to stall maybe. They could possibly attack with Moltres, but we'll see. They'll set up another Charmander. They have 1 card left in their hand. I don't know what else they can do here. And they're just gonna pass. Okay, cool. So, we can evolve into another Chandelure. Even though they only have 1 card in their hand, we could just force them to draw into more cards. So I'll just attach an energy to Serendipity EX. We're gonna use Harlequin. Come on, Tails. Well, we got heads. Okay, that's fine. So my opponent draws 3, we draw 5. We got another Whimsicott EX. But we can use 2 Chandelures to still force our opponent to draw into more cards. We'll retreat. Maybe we can get another knockout here with Whimsicott EX. Wondrous Cotton. And it's enough. Alright, nice. They had 3 trainer cards in their hand. We still got a knockout. So we get 1 prize. We got an Ultra Ball. So our setup is pretty good actually right now. We can try and attack with Chandelure as a single price attacker. We do have Fire Energy as well. And it's nice that Whimsicott EX has 0 retreat cost, so we can freely just get it out of the active if we needed to. But slowly but surely, my opponent's attack is increasing. But Charizard EX will not be able to knock us out until we have 1 prize card remaining. They can try and target our other Whimsicott EX or maybe Serendipity EX to maybe catch up, get 2 prizes, but they'll be in danger too, because we can attack with the Whimsicott EX, take another knockout, and just get ahead in the prize trade. Okay, they're just gonna pass. Let me go ahead and just keep drawing cards. Maybe we can even take a knockout against this Pidgeot EX. I'll just take a chance. Alright. I can attach another energy to my Pokemon if I need to, but I don't really have to. But I'll just put 1 to Whimsicott. And we're just gonna Wondrous Cotton. 300 damage! That's crazy! I didn't expect that, but hey, we took a knockout against their stage 2. Pidgeot EX dealing 200 damage, getting us 2 more prizes. That's crazy. So now my opponent can deal a 1-hit knockout against Whimsicott EX, but it doesn't matter. If they can't empty out their hand, we could just attack with another Whimsicott and win this game. And there it is, my opponent just gave up. Good game. On to game number 2. This time I'm going to start with Cottony in the active spot. I am going first, and my opponent's going to mulligan, and we are going against Dragapult EX. It's still one of the best decks in the format right now, so this is actually a pretty scary matchup. But I'm just going to do my best. And they even have the Dusknoir lineup. They're going to start with Duskull in their active. But all we can do right now is just attach the Luminous Energy and just pass it on to our opponent. But Cottonee should be okay. It should be safe for the meantime. Because Dragapult EX are not known for taking knockouts on their first turn going second. Usually it takes them at least 2 or 3 turns before they start attacking. But for now, they're going to use Hilda. They can search their deck for an evolution Pokemon along with an energy. And they're going to go for Dusclops and Neo Upper Energy A-Spec card. So they can even fully power up their Dragapult EX with a single energy attachment. And not to mention, they're going to use TM Evolution to evolve both their benched Dreepy into Dracloak. So that even increases their draw for next turn. So I assume they can fully evolve into Dragapult EX on their next turn. But thankfully, we drew into Whimsicott EX, and I'm just going to use Harlequin to disrupt their hand. But we got Tails. But that's okay. We got Cleffa, and maybe this will increase our attack. Okay, nice. We got 250 damage from that. That's crazy. So we got our first prize. So all the cards in our opponent's hand were trainer cards. 250 damage. That's insane. Not too bad. At least we took out their Duskull. Because if they have it, if they could evolve into Dusclops, they could just add damage to Whimsicott, evolve into Dragapult EX, deal 200 damage, and then the damage counter would just take out Cleffa, and we're just going to lose this game. So, a really, really scary combo. This Dragapult EX, Dusknoir combination. But with Hilda, again, they just got their Dragapult EX along with Neo Upper Energy, and there it is, dealing 200 damage. 6 damage counters to our Cleffa, taking it out. So we're 1 damage away from being defeated here. Thankfully, we drew into Arven. I can get Nestball, even Hero's Cape to add HP, but they're just going to knock out Whimsicott. So I'm not going to let this Hero's Cape go to waste. I'm just going to grab Fessendipity EX for now. We got a Cottonee. I can use Hero's Cape to add more HP to it. At least they can't knock it out with the damage counter. And I'm just going to attack. And what's this? All of them are trainer cards. That's crazy. 350 damage to knock out their Dragapult EX. That's crazy. Dude. I did not expect that. 350 damage for a one-hit knockout. Man, that actually shifted the course of this battle. Because now, without the Neo Upper Energy, it requires them 2 energy attachment, unless they have Crispin, to start attacking again with a Dragapult EX. So now we're in a little bit of a control right now. Can my opponent recover is the question. And all we have to do is just keep taking knockouts. Hopefully get our last 3 prizes to win the game. They can hit for 7 or 70 damage if they attack with Dracloak. Knock out our Whimsicott EX, but... Oh, they're going to concede. I'm going to take that. Wow, good game. On to game number 3. I had 2 mulligan ones, and once again, I'll be starting with Cottonee in the active spot. And I also have Litwick on my bench. And my opponent will be going first in this matchup. And I just gotta say, guys, Harlequin is a really good and funny supporter card. I mean, you can't really go wrong with its coin flip. If you flip heads, you give your opponent just 3 cards to draw. It's like an early Iono, so it can be very disruptive. But if you get tails, you can give your opponent more cards, potentially increasing your attack. And that's good for our Whimsicott EX along with our Chandelure. So Harlequin, low-key, a really good card, especially in this deck. Anyways, my opponent's starting to set up here. They are starting with Mew EX. They have Fan Rotom. They use the Fan Call ability. And they're also using the Noctowl engine. So we can expect a Terra Pokemon in this build. And with this Ultra Ball, they discarded Blood Moon Ursaluna EX along with Fessendipity EX. We gotta watch out for that because they can easily recover it with Night Stretcher. And they can easily attack for 240 damage, I believe, for 0 energies if we have 1 prize remaining. But for now, they're going to use or set up Lily's Clefairy EX. And they will attach an energy on it. Okay, so now it's our turn. Got boss's orders. We can set up more basic Pokemon with Buddy Buddy Poffin. So I'll just get 2 more Litwicks. And then I can use Nest Ball as well. And I think I'm going to go for Cleffa. Just in case we draw into something really bad, we can draw into more cards. And for now, I'm just going to use Arven. Get Earthen Vessel along with Hero's Cape. I'm going to discard Harlequin for now. Get these energies. I'll attach that, retreat into Cleffa, attach Hero's Cape to increase our survivability, and I'm just going to Grasping Draw. So we got Whimsicott EX, we can evolve next turn, and we also have Grass Energy to power up its attack. So depending on what cards my opponent has in their hand, we might or might not be able to take a knockout. That's the only thing with Whimsicott EX. It's very random. So it's like RNG based, you can almost say. Unlike Chandelure, it depends on how many cards they have in their hand. So it's not dependent on RNG. So my opponent has Teal Mask Ogerpon EX. They were able to use the Jewel Seeker ability, and they're gonna boss my Cottony with the Hero's Cape. They're gonna attack with Full Moon Rondo, taking a knockout, dealing 200 damage. Unfortunately, we just wasted our Hero's Cape. No thanks to that evil knockout. Anyways, I'm gonna set up 2 more Cottonys, and I'm just gonna stall a little bit here. Grasping Draw for now. But I think we can easily win the prize trade here because they only took 1 prize by taking out our Cottony. Once we evolve into Whimsicott EX, maybe we can take knockouts against their 2 prizers and get ahead in the prize trade. They're going to use Iono. We still get a Whimsicott EX, so we should be okay. We got an Arven as well, so we could even use Rare Candy or even just get Facetipity EX. And my opponent's going to take another knockout against our Cleffa. They will take another prize. So I'm just going to pivot into Cottony. We will evolve that into Whimsicott EX. Use Arven. Get Nest Ball. Then, ooh, our Facetipity EX is not in the deck. I'll just get Munkidori. Maybe we can offset some damage later on. So at least we can evolve into 1 Chandelure. Force both players to draw 1 card. And we're just going to go with Wondrous Cotton. And we're dealing 250. Alright. It was enough to knock out their Lilisk Clefairy. We get 2 prizes. So now we're evened out on the prize trade. And we even drew into our Facetipity EX. So not too bad. Thankfully, my opponent had a lot of trainer cards in their hand. So we were able to take a knockout there. Right now, though, they don't have an attacker that can knock out our Whimsicott EX. At least I don't think so. Not right now. Mew EX can copy our attack, but we don't have a lot of trainer cards in our hand. And their Ogerpon is not going to deal any damage either. So they're going to boss my Chandelure. Thankfully, we have Air Balloon in our hand, so we can easily retreat it. And that's what the Air Balloon is there for, guys. To keep our Chandelure from being trapped in the active spot. We can easily retreat it with Air Balloon. Although, they have the Jamming Tower, so that's going to turn off our tool card. Okay, they have Sparkling Crystal to give Ogerpon an energy, but they transferred the energy to Mew EX. Just gonna keep drawing with Chandelure. I can use Arven. Maybe I can set up another Chandelure. Yeah, let's do that. That will increase our power to draw extra cards, and at the same time increasing the cards in our opponent's hand as well. I could try and attack this turn. I'm just gonna attack with Mind Ruler. Get ahead in the prize trade. Knock out their Fan Rotom. We get a prize, so we don't have to worry about retreating right now. And that's the thing with Chandelure. It's good for increasing our attack damage output, as well as it helps out for consistency. And thirdly, it helps out as a single prize attacker, and it deals a lot of damage depending on how many cards our opponent have in their hand. So it's a really, really powerful card actually. And it surprised me. Again, shout out to was that Cupcake What? I believe it was. I actually got this idea from that player when I showcased my Superior EX. So I'm really happy that it's been working out, although the win rate for this deck is really low. But with the Hero's Cape, it actually made a big difference when I first started testing it out. Hero's Cape does make a big difference to increase the survivability for our Whimsicott EX. And not only that, I was surprised at how powerful Chandelure can be. For now though, my opponent's starting to set up their other Ogerpon. But for now, they're going to use Mew EX to copy Chandelure's attack. And it dealt so much damage, easily knocking out our Chandelure. At 4 cards remaining in their hand, we can force them to draw one more. Can we take a knockout against this Mew EX is the question. At least we can remove their jamming tower. So they can't trap us with Air Balloon if we use our Air Balloon, I mean. But that Wellspring Ogerpon is a little scary, being able to snipe our bench. So thankfully we have Shaman to block their attacks on our bench. And with the Super Rod, I'm just gonna recover those. Maybe we can put an energy to Monkey Dory, allow it to transfer damage counters to our opponent's Pokemon. Let's try our Wondrous Cotton. There's 2 trainer cards. We're only dealing 100 damage, unfortunately. But it's a cheap damage. I mean, maybe if we draw into like a Gusting support, we can easily take out this Mew EX, if anything. And there it is, Azumarill. So Azumarill has an ability where if there is a Terra Pokemon in play, it can attack for just a single Psychic Energy and is dealing a lot of damage. 230 is actually enough to knock out our Whimsicott, so it's pretty insane. Double Edge, there it is, 230 damage, knocking out our Whimsicott EX. They get 2 prizes, they just need 1 more. Thankfully, this Azumarill received 50 damage, so we can easily knock it out as well. I'm gonna go ahead with Flip the Script. Ooh, we got boss orders. Okay. I might just have to knock out this Azumarill though. Let me try Harlequin. Flip a coin. We got Tails. Okay, that gives them more cards, but it could still be very dangerous. I can attack with Whimsicott. I just need to survive an attack here, guys. So let's go with Wondrous Cotton. And it dealt 100 damage. Okay, enough to at least knock out their Azumarill. So we get a prize for that. We just need to knock out 1 more 2-prizer. I just hope they don't have a boss's orders to easily knock out one of our single prize Pokemon on our bench. We should be fine if they don't have a boss's orders. But if they can recover Fast Serendipity, they can draw into more cards. Blah blah blah. But at least they can't use Counter Catcher, an item card, because they have taken more prizes than we have. So they're gonna take a risk by copying Whimsicott's attack. There's 2 trainer cards, they deal 100 damage. And I think, I don't know, depends on what cards they have in their hand. But you know what? We have boss's orders. I'm not gonna take any chances, guys. I'll just retreat into Chandelure. Boss their Ogerpon, which is weak to fire, and we're dealing 240 damage. And that will get us our last 2 prizes to win the game. That was a close one, but we got it. Good game. And that's it for the video. Thank you all so much for watching the Popsicleknight channel, and until next time, please stay safe and have a great day.